activities on the strength of the holy name. Number 8, to consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in Vedas as fruitive activities, karma kanda. Number 9, to instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. Number 10, to not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy name, and to maintain material attachments even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to achieve the desired success, Krishna Prema. So once again, welcome to today's call and thank you very much for joining us. Moving on to our next session, which is Srimad Bhagavatam class. I will let all the devotees on the call to please go ahead with your introductions now.
Hare Krishna, Lakshmi Mataji, Dhanvat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai, Priti Dasi from Charlotte. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Priti Mataji, Dhanvat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Lakshmi Mataji. This is Kaumudiki Dasi from Vrindavan. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Kamadika Mataji, Dhanvat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you.
Hari Bol, Kamodaki Mataji, you reached Vrindavan?
I reached Vrindavan when I was trying to find how to join, but then I couldn't find somehow. So then after every day I was just hearing the recording. But now I have found the way by one Mataji, she showed me how. So then I say, yes, I can join and also announce. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji, and please pray for us to Radha,
Yes.
Sundar, and all the deities in Vrindavan. Thank you, Mataji. Jai Kamodaki Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. You are always on transcendental platform because I hear you also giving, when Padma Sakhi Mataji is giving some guidance, you also giving her. And when the question answer session also you are very nicely asking, and some of the you are also answering. Thank you very much, Mataji, that you have given me some opportunity to do some seva. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Kamodaki Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Go ahead, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji.
Yes.
Hare Krishna, Lakshmi Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga, and to all the assembled devotees. This is Megha from Naperville. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Megha Mataji, Dhanvat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Lakshmi Mataji, Dhanvat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Shyamaguri Devi Dasi from Charlotte.
Hare Krishna, Shamagari Mataji, Dhanvat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanvat Pranam, all glories to Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj, all glories to assembled devotee. This is Mohini Lakshmi from Detroit.
Hare Krishna, Mohini Lakshmi Mataji, Dhanvat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Lakshmi Mataji, all glories Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharajis. My humble obeisances to you and all the devotees. This is Krishna Kumari Devidasi from Raleigh.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Kumari Mataji, Dhanvat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanvat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Shri Guru and Gauranga and all the assembled devotees. Yashamati from Chicago.
Hare Krishna, Yashamati Mataji, Dhanvat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Lakshmi Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all the assembled devotees. This is Indulekha Karna Devi Dasi from Lincoln. And so happy to hear that Kamadaki Mataji was also able to join online. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, and she's in Vrindavan. Hare Krishna, Indulekha Mataji, Dandavad Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanvas Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Srila Gurudev. This is Shiromani from Krishna Katha. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Shiromani Mataji, Dandavad Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Do we have any more introductions at this point? Krishna, welcome to Bhakti Sangha conference call. We are extremely fortunate to have His Grace Nityananda Prabhuji here with us today, and Prabhuji would be enlightening us by discussing Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 4, and verse 10 and 11. But before we dive into this nectarine class, I will request Raj Prabhuji to share a brief introduction about His Grace Nityananda Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Raj Prabhuji, Dandavad Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Over to you.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavad Pranam to you and all the assembled devotees, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, Shri Guru and Gauranga. Here is a brief introduction for Prabhuji. Our speaker for today is His Grace Nityananda Prabhuji, who is a senior brahmachari from Sri Sri Radha Gopinath Temple. His Grace Nityananda Prabhuji originally hails from Ramanathpuram, Rameshwaram, Tamil Nadu. He joined the ashram at the young age of 19. He served for a decade in Sri Sri Radha Gopinath Temple and then studied under the auspices of Srila Prabhupada disciple, His Grace Gopi Parandan Prabhuji, for 3 years. Prabhuji preaches in English and Tamil languages. It's a very brief introduction for Prabhuji. Over to you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Raj Prabhuji, for that introduction.
Hare Krishna.
Do we have Prabhuji? Yeah, we do. Hare Krishna, Nityanand Prabhuji, Dandavad Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much for your valuable time and association this morning and enlightening us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam. Without further ado, I would like to request you to please take over from here. Hare Krishna.
Hare Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalaakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Anteham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Shakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Ghorangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Namo Vishnupadaya कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna and pranams to all the assembled Vaishnavas. It's a great pleasure to be amongst all of you. So today we will be utilizing our time in the discussion of Srimad Bhagavatam of the 6th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. यूयं च पित्रान् वदिष्ठा देवदेवेन चानघाः प्रजा सर्गाय हि कथं वृक्षान् निर्दग्धुमर्हथ। यूयं च पित्रान् वदिष्ठा देवदेवेन चानघाः प्रजा सर्गाय हि कथं वृक्षान् निर्दग्धुमर्हथ। यूयं च पित्रान् वदिष्ठा देवदेवेन चानघाः प्रजा सर्गाय हि कथं वृक्षान् निर्दग्धुमर्हथ। So, word to word meaning. I'll chant Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Yuyam, you, cha also, Pitra by your father. Anvadishtaha, ordered. Devadevena by the personality of Godhead, the master of the master. Cha also Anaghaha, sinless one. Praja Sargaya, for generating the population. He indeed, Katham, how, Vrikshan, the trees, Nirdagdhum, to burn to ashes. Arhatha, translation. O pure-hearted one, your father Prachina Barhi and the Supreme Personality of Godhead have ordered you to generate population. Therefore, how can you burn to ashes these trees and herbs, which are needed for the maintenance of your subjects and descendants? Is the first Adishthata satham margam kopam yacchata deepitam pitra pitamahenapi dushtam va praptimahehi prapitamahehi. The path of goodness traversed by your father, grandfather, and great grandfathers is that of maintaining the subjects, including the men, animals, and trees. This is a path you should follow. Unnecessary anger is contrary to your duty. Therefore, I request you to control your anger. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Here the word Pitra Pitra Mahenapi Jushtambap Papita Mahehi depict an honest royal family consisting of the kings, their father, their grandfather, and their great grandfather. Such a royal family has a prestigious position because it maintains the citizens of Prajas. The word Praja refers to one who has taken birth within the jurisdiction of the government. The exalted royal families were conscious that all living beings, whether human, animal, or lower than animal, should be given protection. The modern democratic system cannot be exalted in this way because the leaders elected strive only for power and no sense of responsibility. In a monarchy, a king with a prestigious position follows the great deeds of his forefathers. Thus, Soma, the king of the moon, here reminds the Prachetas about the glories of their father, grandfather, and the great grandfather. Hare Krishna. So, here the description of the Srimad Bhagavatam, the sixth canto, fourth chapter. Hamsagukhya prayers. Atishtata satam margam kopam yachyata deepitam pitra pitra mahenapi yushtam papita mahehi. The path of goodness traversed by your father, grandfather, and great grandfather is that of maintaining the subjects, including the men, animals, and trees. This is the path you should follow. Unnecessary anger is contrary to your duty. Therefore, I request you to control your anger. So the Prachetas, after performing their austerities, now in order to perform their seva, they are now burning the trees, and the forest god Soma is now giving a proper understanding to them, and he's trying to save the destruction of the trees. So what kind of logic he is giving? What kind of reason he is giving? Atish Atishtata satam margam popam yachyata deepitam. So he is quoting his great grandfather and their lineage, and telling them that you should not do such kind of activities. You're all, the king protects the citizens, not just human beings or animals, including the plants. So all the, is my audio is my voice is clear?
Prabhu, if you can put microphone maybe a little near, that should be so great. It is not bad, but should be a little better. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada very often describes in his purpose, in his lectures about now how the Vedic Dharma, Sanatana Dharma is a wholesome process. It takes care of everybody, every living entities and non-living entities, and also each and every individual living entities wholesome life. That's why our Sanatana Dharma has a great spectrum of concern, great spectrum of guidance for all the concerns regards to different aspects of life. In other temporary or uh, religions based on certain particular time and circumstance, Sanatana Dharma varies in this aspect. Others they may be having maximum one scripture or maybe more than little one or two. But Sanatana Dharma, the scriptures are many and the teachers are many, and it also have varieties of various levels of progression in the spiritual path as well as material path also. So the Vedic culture, Vedic system doesn't always pushes somebody only for renunciation or pushes somebody only for giving up the pleasures of life or denying the worldly life, only talking about transcendence. It's not like that. So the Sanatana Dharma takes care of every aspect of one's life, how to live in this world and how to leave this world. All aspects of are covered in Sanatana Dharma. That's why people with without proper understanding, they think that spiritual life means that is renunciation. Spiritual life means irresponsibility. Spiritual life means that escapism. Spiritual life means pessimism. These kinds of wrong understandings are there. But if we properly understand our this great spiritual teachings of Sanatana Dharma, we won't get confusion of such. That's why the uh, in our shastras it is said that everybody has given different opportunities, different choices according to their level, and everybody is given opportunity for progress in spiritual path. Just like in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna speaks in the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita in the second chapter with all the logics that how we are not this body, we are not this body, we are spirit soul. The the main avidya, the main ignorance in the spiritual life is that thinking oneself as the body. So thinking oneself as a body is a cause of all the problems in life. So Bhagavad Gita speaks in the second chapter, starting from Natvevaham jatunasham nattum nemi janadhipaha nachaiva na bhavishyamas sarve vayamatah param. And the living entity always exists. It is not that there is a time that it did not exist, it will not exist, nor all these assembled kings will cease to exist. So Gita starts with these teachings that the, the body is temporary and the soul is eternal. The body by nature it always changes. Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram evanam jara tatha dehantara praptit dheras tatranamuyati. So Krishna gives the basic understanding that the body is a temporary, transient, and it is subject to old age, disease, and death. A sober person does not lament for such kind of changes, including the death. So this is Gita's teaching. At the same time, Krishna also speaks about how to lead a life within this body. Yuktahara viharasya yukta cheshtasya karmashu. So Krishna speaks about yuktahara viharasya, that one should take care of this body, one should give sense gratification for this body in a regulated way. Yukta ahara vihara. Ahara means eating. Vihara means recreations. That should be given in a limited way. Yukta swapna avabhodasya. Yukta swapna. One should have proper amount of sleep. So if we are not this body, body uh, is a obstacle in progress to the spiritual life, then Krishna would not be talking so much about the body also. So uh, So that is a wholesome understanding of Sanatana Dharma, that it includes it all inclusive principle. So it gives a problem, at the same time it also gives solution. What is the problem? The problem is that we all of us are the eternal living entities, spirits are all of us, but we are encaged within this body, which is not at all permanent. So the eternal permanent soul is encaged in the temporary body. That is the cause of the problem. And how we can get released from this? Again, the Shastra says that we should use this body. Body includes both gross body and subtle body. What is a gross body? The gross body is made up of, you know, in the hands, legs, the head, all this external thing which we can see. This made up of these five elements: earth, water, fire, air, ether. This is called gross body. But within that there is a subtle body. Subtle body means mind. We think, and intelligence by which we discriminate, and our ego, that means the identification what we have, the feelings, consciousness what we have, this ego. So these three comprises of the subtle body. And then apart from these two, gross body and subtle body, we, the spirit soul, live within this body. So the body is called deha, and we are called dehi, who is living within this body. So uh, both these bodies are in is a covering, which is covering all of us. And how we can get rid of this? How can come out of this covering? Again, the Shastras recommends that we are using the same body. How is it? That which is causes that difficult, causes problem for us. How it can help us to come out of this problem. That is the beauty of Srimad Bhagavad Gita's teaching. Just like if we give an example that when a man goes to the forest and he sees so many ferocious animals, and if we come across a lion one to one, what will happen? Sometimes you see in the park, the lion is moving and people go with the vehicle, and they see, very risky. But if the lion is really hungry and you are alone, you are facing the lion face to face, what will happen? In a matter of seconds, the lion will pounce upon that person, and he will be finished, isn't it? So the lion destroys him, immediately in a matter of seconds. But at the same time, we also see in some places the same lion is captured by expert hunter, and he brings it, and he trains the lion and puts him in the cage and trains him and makes him as his loyal animal. And then sometime the trained lion is brought into the public in some circus and all. They have some show there. The lion is brought, and every thousands of people come to see the lion. And sometimes even the lion master, he puts his head inside the mouth of the lion, and then everybody's jaw drops, and his head just goes inside the jaw of the lion, and people see that and they clap hand, and he takes out his head away from the lion's jaw, and this is a kind of a show. And the lion is trained lion, so it opens its mouth and he puts his head inside the lion's mouth, and he takes it out, and he gets so many claps. And this would be one of the main show in the circus. Then what happened? People pay a lot of money, lot of you know remuneration for such kind of performance. So now for this person who is running the circus show, this show is one of the main reason for him to get money, and he maintained his life by this show. So in just some time back, that the same lion probably can finish his life, but now the same lion actually makes his life. So he may be surviving his livelihood just because of this lion's show in the circus. So the same one lion, one time, that it causes trouble for him, and the same lion can make his life for him. So why? What is the difference? Difference is that the lion is tamed, it is trained, and it is used for his advantage. So similarly, our body and the senses in the Bhagavatam elsewhere it says that the mind or the mind is something like this ferocious animal. If you are little inattentive, then the mind can destroy us. So if the person catches a lion or something, if he's not careful, it can if the lion in the circus decides to close his mouth when this circus fellow puts his head inside his mouth, and that's all, his life is finished, isn't it? So it's yet one has to be very careful and expert in tracking the mind and the body. So in this way, the Shastras are the scientific manual which gives us guidance how we can tame this ferocious animal like the body, the mind, so that it can help us. It can serve us for our higher benefits. So that's the beauty. So in this way, we are not into denial. We are not into escapism. We are not into pessimism that these things are distraction, but actually, and the Sanatana Dharma actually all encompassing, all utilizing, and all inclusive principles it teaches in. That's why if you see the Gita, that the Bhagavad Gita is a science of, we can say, it is a science of renunciation. At the same time, after hearing Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna, who wanted to go as an immature renunciate into the forest, picking up his begging arms, actually he is again went back into the profession of fighting in the great battle of India, Mahabharata. So it is a science of renunciation. At the same time, it does not negate our life within this world and utilizing our body within this world. So that is why it's called as a complete science. That's why our Shastra, unlike the other religions in this world, it doesn't have just one book or two books. It has various uh, departments of books. So in Baldev Vidyabhushana, in his Bhagavad Gita, uh, and Srila Prabhupada quoting Baldev Vidyabhushana in the 10th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Adhyatma Vidya Vidyanam. In that verse, Srila Prabhupada writes about the total varieties of Shastras in Sanatana Dharma. What Prabhupada says, quoting Srila Baladev Vidyabhushana, he says, we have got these 4 Vedas. So the 4 Vedas are very difficult to understand. Very, and it's decoding them. It requires a lot of intelligence and a lot of capacity, a lot of purity. So for us, for general people to help the understanding of these 4 Vedas, there are other Shastras are given, such as Shiksha, Niruktam, Vyakaranam, Chandas, Jyotisham, Kalpam. So these are some departments. We may not go into details. So these are the 6 more Shastras which comes to help understanding the very difficult subjects, very difficult subject matters of the Vedas. So not only these 6, also we have got other 4 departments of knowledge, such as Mimamsa, Nyaya, Vistara, Puranas, and Dharma Shastra. So these are the 4 more. So 4 Vedas, 6 Vedangas, the limbs of the Vedas, 6 plus 4, 10, and this Purana, Dharma Shastra, Mimamsa, Nyaya. These are the 4 subject matters. 14 total we have got. And these 14, this last 4 which I mentioned, one of the department of Vedic knowledge is called Puranas. So the Puranas deals with the difficult subject matter of the Vedas in a very simple language and makes it available for everybody to understand. So such a vast varieties of storehouse of knowledge we have got. So all these knowledge are only dealing with the transcendental subject matter, spiritual subject matter, not necessarily. They also deal with the world. So apart from this 14, which we discussed now, we also have 4 more. What are they? They are called Dhanurveda, Ayurveda, Gandharveda, Arthashastra. What is Ayurveda means? The Ayurveda deals with the body, how to take care of this body. So just now we discussed in the Gita, second chapter onwards, Krishna is emphasizing that we are not this body, body is temporary, the body is, the world is Dukhalayam Ashashvatam, the body is always gives pain to us, it undergoes transformation, it is a cause of misery. So much Krishna has spoken. But at the same time, the body is the medium by which we can perform our duties of righteous, perform our righteous duties. Sharira madhyam khalu dharma sadhanam. Dharma. What is dharma? Any spiritual activity is also called as dharma. So dharma sadhanam. Sadhana means instrument. So what is the instrument by which anybody can perform their dharma? Is this body one. The body is instrument. Shariram adhyam khalu dharma sadhanam. So the shariram, this body is a medium by which one can actually perform one's prescribed duties, both material and spiritual. So can you imagine, if we don't have body, can we perform any kind of spiritual activities? Body includes our gross body and subtle body. If these two things are not there, can we able to perform any spiritual activities? Practically almost impossible, unless very highly advanced person, maybe in the Brahman platform, maybe. But all of us are have utilizing our body to perform spiritual duties, material duties, as well as spiritual duties. So unless you have a canvas, you can't draw a painting. The canvas is something else. The painting is something else. But without the canvas, we can't see any painting. The painter cannot paint. Similarly, the canvas is available everywhere. Nobody appreciates the canvas. They appreciate the painting. But without the canvas, painting cannot stay in one place. So similarly, the body, we are not this body, but the body is very important. Only with this body we can perform spiritual activities also. So that's why the body has to be taken care, the mind has to be taken care. So for that, Krishna has given us a special, specific Shastra itself, how to take care of that, manual, how the body works. So he has given Ayurveda Shastra. That's why Ayurveda is called as one of the Angas, one of the Upavedas of the Vedic system of knowledge, one of the Vidyas in the Vedic system, Sanatana Dharma. So Ayurveda takes care of the bodily needs of our spiritual journey. And at the same time, sadhaka, he may be various levels of sadhaka. Now, when he perform his spiritual duties, he may also become tired, something very stressful. Tapasya means, Prabhupada says, accepting inconvenience for higher purpose. That is called as tapasya. So when you perform tapasya, accepting voluntary inconveniences for the higher purpose, this is called tapasya. So when you do something voluntarily which you really don't like to do all the time, so we may want to take some time out. You want to be stress free. The mind has to be cooled down, isn't it? So some kind of recreation is also necessary. So for that, and the separate recommendations are there. Separate field of knowledge is there. That is called as Gandharva Veda. What is Gandharva Veda means? That there is music is there. There is Natya Shastra, the dance. There is a Nataka Shastra, this drama. And there is a poetry, Alankara Shastra. So these are all comes in the category of Gandharva Veda. So where a person can indulge himself in very sattvic music, sattvic, dance, drama, and poetry, all these things. So this can be done various levels. So those who are Krishna conscious devotees can hear sweet music glorifying Krishna. They can indulge themselves in sweet poetry glorifying Krishna and his pastimes. Devotees can indulge themselves in seeing the plays by the devotees depicting Krishna's pastimes. In this way, the mind is also become relaxed, and it becomes free from the serious stress in our various spiritual duties as well as material duties. So that's why the mind is given attention and taken care by separate department of knowledge and separate department of which engages the mind in our stress-free life. And even though we have performing our spiritual duties with this body, uh, with the help of other, sattvic recreation, but still we are living in the society. The society has to be protected. So if the society is not protected, then even we perform our spiritual duties, but our performance of spiritual duties will have a lot of difficulties. Just like when a disease comes in the body, it is very difficult to practice spiritual life. The diseased body, it becomes very difficult. Like we see, uh, when the body is diseased, we may not be able to concentrate on the spiritual duties. Chanting becomes difficult, and performing our spiritual duties becomes difficult, and our uh, service to Krishna also becomes difficult. Of course, Krishna is bhavagrahi janardana. He will accept even if you do little service also. But generally, in the beginning stages at least, when the body is diseased, mind becomes very weak. So when the mind becomes very weak, we may not able to uh, concentrate on spiritual duties. So one has to keep the body healthy from the attacks of diseases. So that's why Krishna has given as a shield of the Ayurvedic Shastra. So that means whether we are taking the help of Ayurveda Shastra or not, but there is a concern, uh, there is a help is offered from Krishna himself through our Sanatana Dharma to take care of this body, because body is the medium by which we can perform our devotional service also. Even though bhakti is not depending on anything, but at the same time, the body is a medium by which we are performing our devotional service. Shavanam we can do by the ears, Kirtanam by uh, our tongue, Mananam by our mind. So these are all the medium by which bhakti is performed. So that has to be taken care. So for that, Krishna has given the separate Shastra. So and for the mind, Krishna is giving separate Shastra. But even though the disease in the body can be tackled, or the body can be prevented from getting sick, getting disease, but still we are living in a society, there can be attack from outside our society, like a country may be attacked by the unnecessary evil forces. Like we see the Ukraine, the devotees are, how difficult they are leading their life. We hear anytime the bombs can drop in, some devotees lost their life also. We hear, and anytime they can't worship the deities peacefully, the deities has to be protected. You can't go out and get offering for the deities as like before. So this kind of anxieties and difficulties are there. So unless there is a peaceful atmosphere is given, it is difficult in general to perform bhakti. Of course, when difficulties comes, one can take shelter of Krishna more intensely. Bhakti is independent or depending on any situation, circumstances. But still, uh, it is not that everybody wants that kind of situation. So even India also, we see a lot of histories of devotees getting uh, troubled, tormented by the various invasions, and where the deities are being stolen, temples are destroyed. It's not the devotees are enjoying, so I should be in such situation so that I can take complete shelter of Krishna. I want these kinds of difficulties. It's not the devotees are looking forward for that. If situation comes, they accept this Krishna's will, but it's not that they're looking for. So the society has to be protected. Who protects the society? The society is protected by the king. The king has to protect the society. Here we hear the purport. We hear that your Krishna Soma is telling the Prachedas that your forefathers, they were all taking care of all the citizens, all living entities, including the humans, animals, plants, and trees also. How can you give trouble to the trees? So the society has to be taken care. Then only one can perform a spiritual duty also. So who does that? The king does that. The king, how king can do? He has to be trained up. He has to be properly educated. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada speaks about the forefathers, the kings, the previous monarchy. Prabhupada is glorifying the monarchy. So the monarch, the king, what he does is that he is trained by his forefathers, his father, and the father is trained by his father. And the Kula Guru, the priest, trains them in the Shastra, and the priest gives some advice based on the Shastra. So, how to tackle the enemies, how to protect the countries from being attacked by the enemies. So, for that, Sanatana Dharma offers. Krishna has given a separate department of knowledge that is called as Dhanurveda. So Dhanurveda, what it does, that how one can use the weapon. Two things are there, Shastra and Shastra. Shastra means the scriptures. The scriptures are telling us what to do, what not to do. So it orders us what one should do, what one should not do. So the people in the mode of goodness, people who are righteous, by the order of the Shastras, they lead their life. That their life they led by the instruction of the Shastras. But if somebody is not in mode of goodness or not in the righteous path of life, so such kind of people are, are regulated by the Shastra. Shastra means the weapon. So if a person is not listening the Shastras voluntarily, then he is forced to listen by the Shastra, the weapon. So the king responsibility is that with his weapon he has to control the people and those who are unrighteous people, and also he has to protect the country from the nefarious external evil forces. The king protects the country by the weapons. The king is not strong, then what happens? The ruler is not strong, and the country can be attacked by the unwanted external forces. So the country has to be protected, and that art is given to the king by the Dhanurveda. So separate department of Shastra is there, department of knowledge is there, which imbibes the king with the uh, sufficient technology, how one should tackle the enemies. So that is called as Dhanurveda. So the external enemy is protected within the society. The society is protected from the external enemies by the king with the help of the Dhanurveda. And the enemy which affects the body is been protected, the disease that is been protected by the help of Ayurveda. So the society is protected from the external enemies, from the attacks, and the body is protected by the Ayurveda Shastra. And one can perform, the society can perform their individual duties, respected duties, and progress in spiritual life. But at the same time, there can be some difficulties within the society, such as those who are miscreants, those who are unloyal people, or those who are uncivilized people within the society, within the country. And how we can, there may be a lot of thieves could be there, a lot of other people could be there, how they will be controlled, how the society is maintained, regulated. There also the king that performs that by the help of the Shastra called Artha Shastra. So Artha Shastra, what it does, it balances the society by leaving taxes. The government, takes tax from the people, and it helps the people to lead a peaceful life by constructing water bodies, by planting trees in the proper places, and it plans the cities, it plans the proper engagement for various levels of peoples. In this way, the king, with the help of the Artha Shastras, he levies taxes to the people. And the tax also, the king does it such a uh, very righteous way, just like honey bee, it takes honey from the flower. So how the honey bee takes honey from the flower, that it just, the flower doesn't get harmed by the honeybee. In fact, honeybee takes little amount of honey from the flower, and also it helps the flower to, you know, what they call some kind of process. It helps the flower, the trees to grow further by the process of I forgot the name, photosynthesis or something. Anyway, so so similarly, the king, when he takes tax from the people, he doesn't trouble the prajas. No, he levies tax such a way that they are not feeling any difficulty. Just like the honeybee takes honey from the flower, similarly the king takes appropriate amount of money tax from the people, and he utilizes the same money, same tax again back in the welfare of the society. So in this way, a peaceful society with the help of the king is is protected from the external enemy from uh, being attacked, and also it protects the society from the internal enemies within the society by the help of the Artha Shastra. And then the individual living entities are protect themselves, their body is protected by the Ayurveda Shastra. And when the performance of spiritual duties, the mind is also gets proper entertainment, relaxation through the nice cultured music, art, and dramas, which are Krishna conscious. So in this way, if you see the beauty of the Sanatana Dharma, I didn't explain more detail about the other departments, which are which will take the class becomes technical. So like that, other departments also knowledge helps us, the society, people within the society, in a proper way to mold one's life and achieve the perfection of human life. What is perfection of human life? The perfection of human life is that one should understand one's real nature. What is the real nature? Jivera Swarupai, Krishna Nityadas, that I am eternal part and parcel of Krishna, I am Sarvata Krishna. So in order to bring us to this platform, the Vedic Sanatana Dharma helps in various ways, and brings a person from the bodily concept of life to Krishna conscious life, without negating all our needs from the bodily needs to the needs of the our essential soul. So that is the beauty of Sanatana Dharma. So sometimes even the devotees also, many times they misunderstand, think that our spiritual advancement life means that one should only concentrate on transcendental aspects. We shouldn't deal about the, you know, other aspects. But actually, even many devotees also, families had come into difficulties, their health become uh, neglected on the name of spiritual duties. But one should understand that one should carefully, with their intelligence, we should understand that the Sanatana Dharma, Srimad Bhagavatam, all our Shastras are a wholesome process. So it takes care of all the aspects of life. So the immature renunciation also gives trouble to our not only spiritual path, also in our material life, also it gives us trouble. And the body becomes diseased, then we were not able to perform our spiritual duties also. So there has to be a balance, there has to be a proper approach with proper guidance. So that is the beauty of the Sanatana Dharma. So here in the purport we see that in the name of spiritual advancement, or the name of one's own particular duty, here the prachetas are being advised to perform a particular service of producing progeny. But when they see that the trees are, yeah, obstacles for them, so they are indiscriminately they're trying to burn the trees. But they are being advised the wholesome process, that just like how important is your seva, similarly it is also important aspect to take care of the living entities, including the trees. So that is called the wholesome process. Uh, so when people don't understand this aspect, then they think that spiritual life or Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam is only talks about the difficult things. It talks about the uh, it is curbs our freedom, independence. No, it is actually proper utilization of our independence, proper utilization of our intelligence in leading a happy life as much as possible within this world and beyond this world also. Hmm. So, so using this body, we are actually getting a great happiness of our spiritual bliss. We are in this, we can achieve spiritual bliss by using the same thing which gives us trouble. So that is a beauty. It's like the lion which can cause a death for a person can actually cause a person's life also. So that is what the science of Krishna consciousness. So this, that's why Srila Prabhupada always calls that Krishna consciousness is the process. It's not something like many Hindus think that going to temple is ringing a bell or putting some money in the hundi box, taking some charanamrita, coming out. They think that this is some kind of rituals we have been doing generations. So we'll do a little bit here and there. No, this is actually a great science, a great thoughtful gift given by the great self-realized souls who are deliberated upon it. Bhakti yogena manasi samtek pranihite male pashyat purusham purnam ayam tapashrayam. Vyasadeva, this deep meditation he contemplated. Uh, uh, Anarthopashamam sakshat bhakti yogam atokshate lokas chajananto vidvam chakre sattva samhita. So Vyasadeva, with his deep meditation, he contemplated the age of Kali and people who is going to be in the age of Kali and what is best for them. He contemplated and he meditated and he uh, and with all this deep meditation and with concern, he has given the Shastras. Yeah, Vyasadeva is not an ordinary, he is incarnation of, literary incarnation of Krishna. Vyasaya Vishnu Rupaya Vyasa Rupaya Vishnave Namo Vai Brahma Nidhaye Ahishtaya Namo. Brahma Nidhaye means he is having a treasure house of the realization of Brahma, absolute truth. So that absolute truth is giving with proper deliberation. So that's why it is a science. It is not something a pious entertainment in the mode of goodness. It's actually a great science, life-saving science. It tells us what to do in each and every step of life. From the womb till the tomb, everything is programmed, everything is guidance is given. And how we can lead a happy life. The spirituality doesn't mean that we have to suffer. It is a happy life within this world, also beyond this world. So that is a science. That's what Srila Prabhupada often says, the science of Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is not a mental speculation. It is not an artificial imposition on the mind. It is actually a natural activity of a living being. So it's a science of Krishna consciousness. Again and again, so that's why when you understand the wholesome approach to Krishna consciousness, then a person may not get uh, overwhelmed by so many confusions in this world. So there may be some kind of disadvantage in the sense that because of various department of knowledge, various shastras, and we discussed about in short this 14 or 18 departments of knowledge. So other religions, they have this one book. So but here we got so many departments, so many varieties, so many, sometimes some may be apparently contradictory. So that kind of confusions can come. That's why we have got sadhus and spiritual masters, expert uh, saints who can guide us, what is for whom. And because the Sanatana Dharma is like a banyan tree which gives shelter to all varieties of, it's like a banyan tree gives shelter to all varieties of birds. Uh, the parrot comes, the cuckoo bird comes, even the crow can also come, various birds comes, and the banyan tree accommodates everybody according to the need. It provides some birds, they eat the fruit, some they like, some may not like the fruit. So some eat something else, some may just come for the shade. So everybody is accommodated there. Similarly, Sanatana Dharma accommodates everybody, from the people in the mode of goodness, passion, ignorance, and people of various stages of their consciousness. Everybody is accommodated and everybody is taken care, everybody is advised, given directions. So sometimes if we don't understand which level we are in, so we may get confusions. So we may be taking the instruction which is meant for somebody else for us. So for that, the Shastras also, Krishna not only given the Shastra, Krishna also given. He himself comes, he also sends Acharyas, the great Acharyas come, and they come and help us. So the human body, as Srimad Bhagavatam says, like it's a boat, and we're given the boat. And this boat is the instrument by which we can cross the ocean of material existence. But if you don't know how to operate the boat, then we have got the boat also have a captain in it. Who is the captain? The captain is a spiritual master, and the captain operates the boat. And the Shastras are like the favorable winds. When the wind blows the same direction in which we are heading towards, then it's easy for the captain to move the boat. So the favorable winds are the Shastra. So in this way, if we understand, sometimes we understand what is Krishna's mercy. We understand what is Krishna's mercy, it's actually mind-boggling, amazing thing. So various ways Krishna himself comes. Krishna comes through the spiritual master. Krishna comes through his own incarnation. Krishna comes through the Shastra. Srimad Bhagavatam is not different from Krishna. And this way Krishna does everything. He incarnates within our heart as Paramatma. So there is nowhere we can actually, Krishna's hand is not there. In this way Krishna does everything for our benefit. So when we see Srimad Bhagavatam, how it is wholesome, it takes care of all the aspects of our life. When Hiranyakashipu, when he saw Nrsingadev, he thought it's some kind of a lion-like creature have come. It doesn't look like lion also. Stambe sabhayam na mrugam na manusham. Either it is a mriga or it is a manushya. He was kind of surprised. So when he saw this particular creature, he started is going to kill him. And Nrsingadev killed Hiranyakashipu. But the same Lord, Nrsingadev, actually becomes the source of pleasure for Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlada Hlada Dayine. Namaste Narasimhaya. Prahlada Hlada Dayine. Prahlada. Ahlada Dayine. What is Ahlada means? Ahlada means happiness, pleasure in. So Ahlada Dayine. What is Dayine means? One who gives. What he gives Ahlada. And to whom? He gives Ahlada, pleasure to Prahlad. Prahlada Ahlada Dayine. At the same time, Hiranyakashipur Vakshaha Tilathankana Khalaye. So this the heart of Hiranyakashipu, the chest of Hiranyakashipu is like a heavy steel frame, and nobody can pierce it. But Nrsingadev with his nails, he pierces his heart. So for Hiranyakashipu, Nrsingadev become death personified. And for Prahlad, he become Prahlad Ahlada Dayine. He is a source of pleasure for Prahlada. So how it is opposite effect takes place. For Prahlada is Ahlada Dayine, but Hiranyakashipu is a destroyer of Hiranyakashipu. So why is this happening? So here also we see one lion, Trahari. So half lion, half human form. So the same lion, Krishna, Nrikeshari, Nrsimhadev, becomes the pleasure giver for someone like Prahlad, devotees, and he is destroyer of death personified for Hiranyakashipu. Why? What is the difference? The difference is that how we are approaching. Similarly, let's give the example of a lion. For the circus fellow, the lion makes his life, but for the not careful person, the lion can kill him also. So similarly, the body, this whole life, this our human form of life, we can utilize it for achieving perfection and in this we can achieve great happiness. But if you don't understand, if we are not careful, it can actually destroy. That's what we see in the whole world around us. These human body is given, developed senses are given, all the facilities are given. So what is the greatest you know amazing thing Acharya says that Krishna's name is there, Krishna's form is there, but the living entities are somehow they're still expertly, carefully avoiding Krishna's name, and they are heading towards their own miserable destiny. So that is what is amazing thing. So by the grace of Srila Prabhupada and Acharyas, we have got this great opportunity. That's why when Brajavasis, we are going to this Kartik month, the Brajavasis, when they are speaking about Krishna, the whole life of Brajavasis is for the pleasure of Krishna. And when Krishna has told the Brajavasis that you don't have to worship Indra, Krishna thought that these Brajavasis are my dear devotees. Even though I have given the Shastras, in the Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says, Parasparam Bhavayanta, Shreya Param Avapsata. So both you all perform sacrifice to the demigods, and demigods being pleased with you all, the demigods will give rain and in abundance. So using the demigods rain, you make grains, and when you get the grains, don't eat it everything for yourself, offer and sacrifice the grains to the demigods, and by getting your grains they are also getting satisfied, their needs are fulfilled, and return they'll give you rain. In this way it's a cycle, both of you live peacefully. Parasparam bhavayanta, that's what Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita. So the Brajavasis also follows Krishna's instruction only. But at the same time, as we discussed, the Sanatana Dharma has a variety of Shastras or various levels. So what is meant for one person is not necessary for other person. For a Grahastha, certain rules are given. A Grahastha, righteous Grahastha can unite with his wife at particular time and particular place. He can get a progeny so that he can perform his Grahastha Dharma. Putrahinam Graham Shunyam. At the same time, that is instruction is not meant for person renounced out. So everybody has a particular instruction. So here Krishna thinks that what I gave is a general principle, is not meant for my dear Brajavasis. They don't have to worship Indra. So Indra is not a fit person to receive worship of my Brajavasis. So Krishna wanted to stop his dear devotees from worshipping Indra, and also Krishna wanted to teach a lesson to Indra that he is not fit to be worshipped by Prajavasi, and he wanted to curb his pride that he is a great demigod. So for that reason, Krishna told his father, who is immersed in making arrangements for the worship of Govardhan. Krishna asked his small boy Krishna, he asked father, my dear father, what is the arrangement you are all doing? Much of hard work and labor, so many arrangements you are all making, for what purpose? So Nanda Baba says that, my dear son, this is the Indra Puja we are heading towards, and this we do in every year, is coming from our parampara, like that Nanda Maharaj explains. Then Krishna speaks in order to instigate, Indra, that why you are worshipping this Indra? Indra doesn't have to worship. The clouds are giving rain, and there is no need to worship Indra. And father tells, my dear child, the clouds gives rain, but when you do these sacrifices, Indra only prompts the clouds to give rain. So we should perform our duties, our pious sacrifices, then Indra gives rain. Krishna says, my dear father, what you're saying is not true. Even in the ocean also rain falls. What kind of sacrifice ocean does? So then Nanda Maharaj says, no, we should perform pious activities by which Indra is pleased. And Krishna says, pious activities, if you are doing pious activity, if you are giving, 100 rupees or $100 in a shop, and if you're giving some kind of rice or something, we don't worship the shopkeeper. We gave 100 rupees and gave us rice. We have to worship the shopkeeper. It's duty to give because I paid money. Similarly, if we perform pious activities, Indra is bound to give us rain. Why we should worship him? So Krishna was speaking atheistic philosophies to Nanda Maharaj. But then ultimately, Nanda Maharaj and they wanted to satisfy Krishna. So Krishna, what do you want us to do, Krishna? And Krishna says that let us worship Govardhan, who is giving us everything. Govardhan is giving what not, he is not giving him. Paniya Kandara, Paniya Suya Vasakantara Kandam, Antaya Madri Abala Haridasa Vartya Yatrama Krishna Charana Sparusha Anam Tanoti Sahago Ganayo Stayoryat Pani Yasuya Vasakantara Kandamule. He is worshipped. He is a great personality who is giving us, fresh grass for our cows. He is giving fresh water for our cows and giving us minerals. He is giving us nice roots and trees, roots and flowers and fruits. In this way, he serves us with beautiful caves in the winter season. It's very warm, and summer season it's very cooling caves and giving us so many streams of water. And say our whole Vrindavan is nourished by Govardhan. So let us worship Govardhan. Then Nanda Maharaj thought that okay, we'll worship Govardhan, but after the Indra Puja. But Krishna wanted to destroy the pride of Indra. So in order to instigate Indra, Krishna said, no, right away we'll worship. We'll worship the same ingredients what you got now, we'll worship. So then Nanda Maharaj, Krishna, devotees, everybody wants to please Krishna. So everybody agrees to Krishna's words to worship Govardhan. And then what happens? Indra really becomes angry. And these Rajavasis, hearing this small kid, they are insulted me and they worship Govardhan. Let me see what I'm going to do. So Indra showers torrents of rain and heavy torrents of rain, like Prabhupada says, like an elephant trunks falling upon. That kind of rain is falls upon devotees in Brajavasis. Whole Vrindavan is getting inundated. Not only rain, wind blows, and so the cold wind and the wind blows during rainy season, it becomes very difficult to bear. So then all the cows are getting tormented. The cows, keeping their dewlaps on the back of their calves, shivering calves. So they are coming towards Krishna. All the Brajavasis, when the trouble comes, they spontaneously they comes towards Krishna. Krishna, Krishna Mahabaho, Krishna, please protect us. So all the Brajavasis are running towards Krishna. Then Krishna says, I said that Govardhan Giriraj will be worship Giriraj and Giriraj will protect us. So Krishna told Brajavasis, do not worry, I will lift Govardhan and Giriraj will protect all of us. Krishna nonchalantly went below the Govardhan and he lifted. There was one place, there is entrance where we can go below the Govardhan. Krishna went to that place and from there he lifted Govardhan and called all the Brajavasis, my dear Brajavasis, please come with all your valuables and bring all your cows and calves. Govardhan is giving a shelter, can lead a very nice time below the Govardhan. The rain will not trouble us. When Krishna called, and devotees are so happy, everybody, by the calling of Krishna, they went inside the Govardhan and there they saw Krishna's beautiful body. It's like a rain and a rainy cloud, so sweet, and they're all looking at Krishna's body and they are uh, drinking his beauty. At the same time, the Rajavasis are very afraid. Mother Yashoda was very afraid. What will happen to Krishna? She's telling Krishna, you are so naughty, restless. Why did you lift it? Why did you tell the Indra Puja to be stopped? You see now Indra become angry. All our auspicious this is gone. So what will happen now? You are lifting this Govardhan and your tender hand. What will happen to you? Yashoda Maya was in the Pastalya Bhava. She is very much afraid. And Madhumangal tells Yashoda that do not worry about this. By my Brahminical power, I can lift the Govardhan. I am giving power to Govardhan. And Krishna was smiling at Madhumangal. Yashoda Maya is telling that. How can you speak all these things impudently? You are able to tell like this. Krishna is my small darling child, and he is lifting this Govardhan, and you are talking about all this nonsense thing and how his hand is paining. Then Yashoda Maya tells Krishna, you are not eaten anything. The mountain is so heavy, you should feed you something. So let me get some nice cake I have made from soft yogurt. You should eat this. Then Madhumangal says, this is nice what mother you are telling. You feed Krishna. I am also hungry, by the way. This such a beautiful rasa is taking place, and one gopi is telling Srimati Radharani, my dear Radharani, don't look at Krishna and don't raise your eyebrows. If he sees your eyebrows, then Krishna's hand will uh, he will tremble in ecstasy, and his hand will shake, and Govardhan may fall. It will cause death to us. And Krishna glancing at the Brajavasis, the cows are glancing at Krishna, and the elderly Gopas are thinking that Krishna is becoming may get tired, so they're all putting their sticks below the Govardhan, and they're trying to assist Krishna lifting Govardhan. And Madhubangal and other coward boys are laughing at them. Why you're all scratching Govardhan's uh, body with your stick? Actually, it is Madhumangal tells, by my Brahminical sages have given strength to Krishna to lift Govardhan. Yashoda tells that what impudent you are talking about. Krishna is struggling hard, he is lifting Govardhan. This is such a tender, soft hand he has. And then Krishna tells, my dear mother, Yash, actually, Govardhan, I am not lifting Govardhan at all. He is so merciful that he is just floating in my hand. He is not at all I am holding to it. Govardhan is floating. Yashoda tells, if that is true, Krishna, then Govardhan should float in your hand. He should float in your hand, and you should give up your association of your hand. Then I will believe this. Then Madhumanga tells, my dear mother, what are you talking about? It's actually Krishna doesn't have to live the Govardhan. By my chanting of the mantras only, I can give power to Krishna to live Govardhan. So when Madhumangal spoke like this, Yashoda says, Madhumal, what are you talking about? My dear, my child is lifting Govardhan. You are talking all these things. As Indra become angry, they are getting into trouble. And Madhumangal continues, my dear mother, see, if Krishna doesn't make Indra angry, then how will have this fun? Because Indra becomes angry, she showed a lot of rain, and then Krishna lifted Govardhan. We are having a fun. And Mother Yashoda tells, what are you talking about fun? Krishna is lifting Govardhan, and you are talking all these things. Then Nanda Maharaj tells, my dear Yashoda, don't chastise Madhumangal. He is encouraging Krishna. Krishna is struggling hard, you see. When he speaks like this, he become encouraged, and you can lift over them nicely. So like that, the beautiful rasa, exchange of rasas is taking place. Coward boys are glorifying Krishna, well done. And Mother Yashoda is feeding Krishna nice butter and sweets, and the gopis are glancing at Krishna, and the elderly people are looking at Krishna. So such a great rasa taking place below the Govardhan. At the same time, outside, Indra is showering torrents of rain. There is a great shower of rain take place outside. But inside, there is another rain of love and affection. Krishna's whole body is like a monsoon cloud, and the lightning in the cloud is like the gopis beautiful faces which are golden in color, and Krishna's peacock feather is like a rainbow, radiating different colors, and Krishna's glance the shower of rain. So that kind of rasa rain is taking place within Govardhan. And Indra outside, he is also sending his thunderbolt, is thunder and lightning and storm and rain outside. But compared to the outside rain, here is a rain of beautiful rasa is taking place. And Indra has tried his best to even, he could not even move a single leaf from the uh, trees which are present in Govardhan. He could not even move a single blade of grass, because Govardhan being touched by Krishna is in ecstasy and getting all the powers. And in the association of Govardhan, the trees, the plants and the grass, they are also so powerful that Indra could not even do anything. So Indra, I understand, his futile attempt. And finally he surrenders to Krishna. Uh, so in such kind of pastimes, Krishna exchanges all the rasas with the Brajavasis. So Krishna, in this way, he comes down in various times, and he shows to all of us that you see, there are my associates, my devotees are there with me, and also there is Kamsa is there. Kamsa's people are there. So if you can see both the party, my party and Kamsa's party, my party and Ravana's party, what happens to them, what happens to my party. So my devotees, they are how they have been protected by me, how they have been nourished by me, how they have been taken care by me, how they are Tadiyeshu tadagyeshu bhaktir jitatvam punar prema tastam satavritti vanti. My devotees are they are engrossed in the pool of ecstasy in my pastimes. So this is what happens if you associate with me, if you become my devotees. But if you are not doing that, if you are still attached to the material nature, material bodily sense gratification, and if you are in the side of the demonic consciousness, then what happens to Kamsa's associates? What happened to Kamsa? His associates, Putana, Dhenukasura, Pralambasura, Arishtasura, Vatsasura. What happens to all of them? They're destroyed. What happened to Ravana and Kumbhakarna and his sons Indrajit and others? And what happens to Hanuman and monkeys and Sugriva and others when they are in my side? So this way, Krishna is giving us a call, and by coming down in various incarnation and calling us, and I will give all assistance. I will give you my katha, my pastimes, and I'll give you intelligence. I have given you human form. I have given you your developed senses. I have given you the shastras. I have given all kind of help. The only thing what you have to receive. You don't have to anything. I don't need any kind of qualification. Especially Krishna, when he came, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is anarpita charim chirad avatirana kalau samarpayitum. That is not offered. The love of Vrindavan in the form of holy name is offering us. And what we have to do? We have to just open our hand and receive it. So only thing what you have to do, receive it. While receiving, what we have to do? When you want to receive something, that pot has to be empty. When something is already there, we may not receive it fully. So we have to give up all our apprehensions in receiving these things. When we open our heart, open our hand, and simply receive it and enjoy it, just like Srila Prabhupada told His Holiness Dhyapataka Swami and Bhavananda Prabhu, that I have given you Maya and develop it and enjoy it. So what Srila Prabhupada is offering, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is offering, just I am giving you for free. Just enjoy it. Development also they are doing. We are just going there enjoying. So Krishna is offering us. We have to open our heart, open our hand, take it, enjoy it. How we can enjoy? By using our tongue and chanting Krishna's name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Open our ear and hear Srimad Bhagavatam. Open our heart in, open our eyes and seeing, beholding the form of Krishna. Open our nose in smelling Krishna's beautiful, fragrant prasadam, flowers, tulsi leaves. Open our mouth, eating prasadam. What difficulty in that? So by doing these simple activities, actually we can be happy within this world, and also simultaneously we can be happy in the spiritual world. So retirement plans are literally out of this world. We can go out of this world and have a very beautiful, blissful time with Krishna. So that's why great devotee says that devotees don't have to be in anxiety or worry so much. Why? Because we need three things. What we need a spiritual master, and we need a mantra, and we need seva. So by the Srila Prabhupada grace, we all have a spiritual master, and we have a seva. Spiritual master given us seva, and we have a holy name. So holy name, seva, and guru. Other than these three, actually we don't have to have anything. And when we have these three things, our life is perfect. Our life is taken care. Only worry should be how I can give these three to others. There should be three. So in this way, we are grateful to Srila Prabhupada and our Guru Parampara that without any qualification, we have been given this great opportunity to lead a happy life here, and also lead a happy life of giving pleasure to Krishna, life after this also. Hare Krishna. Now it is time.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
6:50. I think I went 10-15 minutes late.
No, Prabhu, it was okay. Nice class you were giving, so everybody was relishing your class.
Hare Krishna. You are all patients personified.
Hare no, Prabhu. We are your fans personified. I love your classes, Prabhu. Very beautiful class, Prabhu. You started with the lion story, how our mind is, you compare to a lion. You were saying when lion is front of you, I was thinking when lion is in front of us, he will do whatever he wants to do. I can't do anything. So now by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, we are trying to control this lion mind with the help of mantra, of course, as you said. So very beautiful class, Prabhu. You supported this class with very nice quotes from Bhagavad Gita, especially starting from the start of Bhagavad Gita, how Krishna says about this body, this Dehinosmim Yatha. She quoted so many quotes, Prabhu, from Bhagavad Gita. And then I never actually heard of Gandharva Veda and Ayurveda. Of course, most of us had heard, because most of us get fever or some kind of disease, and then they speak of Ayurveda. But Gandharva Veda I never heard, so I'm glad that it exists. So, and then Dhanur Veda, I never heard of that. So something new to learn in the class. And then certainly, Prabhu, we are spirit soul, and if we are not spiritual, it's like a fish out of the water. So we are not happy. So we are happy only in Krishna consciousness. And a very beautiful Govardhan pastime, Prabhu. We can hear Govardhan pastime over and over and over, and it's always relishing. It's always relishing. It's never, you never think, oh, I heard of it. There is always something new, always some relishing. It's so beautiful, the Govardhan pastime. And Prabhu, you rightly said, if our pot is empty, then only we can receive something. So you nicely filled the pot, Prabhu, this morning with your beautiful katha. We will try to, just think about it all day and just work on it, right, Prabhu? That's what we can do with the grace of Srila Prabhupada's mercy and with the help of Mahamantra. And certainly, Prabhu, you said very nicely, 3 things we need in our life: the spiritual master, the seva, and the holy name. And we are so lucky, Prabhu, all of us, that we have this, and we can be just relishing this word under the Krishna consciousness umbrella. So thank you so much, Prabhu. Very, very beautiful class, Prabhu. Like always, whenever you come, Prabhu, I love your classes because your classes are so beautiful. If I miss it somehow, I saw it on YouTube. So thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
These classes comes in YouTube also?
Yes, Prabhu. Every day, this class is live on YouTube, Prabhuji.
Or live in YouTube?
No, Prabhu, it remains on YouTube also. So anybody can
I will send you, Prabhu. I will send you.
Okay.
Prabhu, please subscribe to our channel, Prabhu, Bhakti Sangha Japa group. We already have 4,000 subscribers, Prabhu, by the grace of Krishna. Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, with your permission, I'll ask devotees if they have any questions or any realizations. Please go ahead, dear devotees.
Hare
Krishna.
Haribol, Radhas Prabhu, Praladananda last week.
Hare Krishna, Praladana Prabhu. Dhanvat pranam to you.
Yeah. Thank you very much for allowing me to speak. I don't have any question, but I have some realization from Srimad Bhagavatam about the human body we have, like that. So many places, Srimad Bhagavatam is telling the importance of human form of life, and in 5th canto also, Rushabdev Maharaj said, "Nunam pramatta kurute vikarma, yad indriya pritaya apnoti, na sadhu manya yad atmanoyam asanna piklesa asade." This body is the source of all miseries in our life, is what he's saying like that. And other places, Nurude Adyam, Sudurlabam Kalpam. In Srimad Bhagavatam, we're also praising the body of the human form of life, so that we can. Prahlad also is telling like that. So the real gist is that we are all lucky in the human form of life, and especially all of us who came in the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and the great Vaishnavas who every morning come and blaze us with such a great wisdom. So this was just a little realization I have. As you said, about 2,000 subscribers to our channel. We are all going back to Godhead, to Srila Prabhupada's mercy, and we'll all Vaishnavas give us such a nice association in the morning. Thank you very much for 4,000. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for allowing me to speak. Very good.
Thank you, Praladana Prabhu. Your comments are always appreciated. You are senior devotee, so you have seen what we have not seen. So you always help us out. Thank you, Prabhu. Our very senior devotee, His Grace Balaram Prasad Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Dandavat Pranam, Raj Prabhu. Prabhuji, I have one doubt. Maybe you can help us. Prachetas went to under the sea to meditate under the guidance of Lord Shiva, that is the Rudra Gita. So powerful. And then, of course, Rudra Gita is other than glorifying the Lord. And then, in fact, based on what the instruction from Lord Shiva, they went and meditated. And that means their heart should melt. And why their Pracheta's heart went very hard? That means they did not, the moment they came out of that ocean, they saw and they burned the trees. That's what we understand, right? So that means, in spite of having they're not like Hiranyakashipu doing something others for their sense gratification, but they are actually under the instruction of Lord Shiva. They did the Rudra Gita, based on the Rudra Gita, they did these penances. And why did their heart become hard to even, burn the trees? Because 2 days ago we heard that, when we have a lot of austerity, the hearts also become hard. So I just had this doubt, Prabhu. If you can enlighten us, that will be great.
Well, that when great souls or Lord does many things, that there are beyond our ordinary vision, there are very deep reasons would be there. And some are with our ordinary logic may not be able to appreciate or understand. But they are directly under Krishna's guidance and Krishna's inspiration. So just like Dhruva Maharaj, that he has seen Lord Vishnu directly face to face. But then Dhruva Maharaj also, a time came that he was waging a serious war against Yakshas and destroying them in a very serious war. So Vritrasura, he was a great devotee, but he was being he's part of having a serious fight with Indra. So in fact, he challenged Indra with, what kind of Kshatriya you are, you fight with me, that he can, you already know that he can kill you, but still you are afraid, you are running away from the battle, you are coward. He's calling him for a fight. So sometimes we wonder that, as we discussed here, that a devotee means always very humble and he doesn't become angry, and but there is a necessary time the devotee also becomes angry. Hanuman Prabhupada goes, Hanumanji destroyed Lanka. Unless you become angry, you can't destroy anything. So they exhibited the anger in service of Ram. So like that, a lot of activities apparently, activities of destruction devotees also perform. But it is not that every activity devotees perform has to be perfect. When it goes little off track, they will be guided by the same divine intervention. So it is not, it cannot compare to the activities done by the restless mind, the demonic mind. So that's why Soma himself comes. So the destruction of trees nowadays is seen as a tragic thing, because the shortage of trees and the forest. But in those times, there are too many trees, occupying the land, and that is also another form of difficulty. So destruction of the trees, unnecessary trees, is not actually wrong, but doing anything overdoing anything becomes a wrong activity. So that's why the Prachetas, when they started destroying the trees, that the Somas, moon god, came and stopped him. But he could have stopped much before also. But certain destruction is necessary. It's the will of the Lord. So whether they were doing this out of mistakes or they're doing it out of inspiration, we may not able to judge, or we may not able to understand fully. Vaishnava Kriya Mutta Vijnana Bhujayama. But one thing we can understand is that when the devotees perform activities which are not ordinary activities, apparently it may be a transgression of rules. Many times it is what Krishna desires, and sometimes it is a mistake, and that mistake is also been corrected by the divine will of the Lord. So it cannot be equivalent to the activities performed induced by the Rajoguna or the anger which we see in ordinary people or demons or ordinary people. That's my small understanding.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. That also leads to another question. What is it is, we say, oh, we are practicing devotees, we are doing so much seva. I can say I'll do something wrong. And then I will think, oh, I'm a devotee, I'll do it. Because I have to be very conscious, because hearing these stories, past tense is great. But when we say, when we need to apply in our lives, what do we need to apply in our life is most important. Because if something comes up in my mind, like a lion mind, and I'll also do this kind of unnecessary activity, I need to know. That means without the guidance, it's very difficult to even practice Krishna consciousness. I know we are all in the association, we'll do everything. But what comes out, what's the outcome from this is very important to understand. That means, sometimes it gives a liberty. Oh, I can also do it. So that we have to draw a line on what all we can do. It's just a reflection, Prabhu. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Balaram Prasad Prabhu. Very beautiful question. Thank you, Prabhu. Very beautiful answer. And also, I was listening always in other class. As you said, that there was too many trees, so that means the organization was not there. So that was another cause, I think, of anger of Prachetas. So organization is very important. So thank you so much, Prabhuji. Prabhu, I don't see any more hands raised or any questions in the chat box, Prabhu. So with your permission, Prabhu, we can end the class.
Haribol, thank you so much for your patience listening.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu, for coming on the call and for another beautiful class today, Prabhuji. Please give us your time in the future, Prabhu, for another class and enlightening all of us. So, dear devotees,
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. A very,
Shama
very
Prabhu.
beautiful class, Prabhuji, and very nice examples like lion and how the king, he collects like honeybee collects honey from the flowers. I like that, Prabhuji. And you were talking about Ayurveda and Dhanurveda and Gandharva Veda and Artha Shastra. That was also very nice. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Shamagori Mataji, for inviting Prabhuji on the call too. So, dear devotees, let us pay our obeisances to Prabhuji. Vancha kalaptaru vasyacha kripa sindhu pavane vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ji ki jai. His Grace Nityananda Prabhu ji ki jai.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare
Jai
Krishna.
Gauranga.
Bye,
Gauranga, Nityananda. Hare Krishna.
Dandavat Pranam,
Radhe
Prabhuji.
Radhe.
Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.